Today on the podcast, we've got a ton of Disney and Universal news to cover. We're covering things from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, a lot of updates there. Plus, we're talking about the new Netflix houses that are debuting in America in just over 3 weeks now, coming very soon to Dallas and Philly. I've got a bunch of details on that. We're also talking about the new Las Vegas theme park that is possibly in the works. Got a lot going on, some Six Flags updates in there for you as well. Make yourself comfortable, grab a drink, grab a snack, grab whatever you need, because we've got a big show, a loaded show coming up for you right now. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to a Theme Park podcast. I am your host, Frankie Screams, back with you again for another episode of the show. Stoked to be back here, guys. It's the first episode in a while where I'm going to be breaking down the news, back to our regularly scheduled program here. I've got a bunch of news in the Express Lane today, all Disney, all Universal news. And then also we do have a couple featured stories as well. We're going to be taking a look at the recent announcements from the Netflix house. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Maybe you're watching this in your bed right now, watching it on TV. Maybe you're out and about at your job right now. Maybe you're commuting back home from your job, listening on podcast platforms. Wherever you are, I hope you guys enjoy the show. Let's get right into it. We're going to start things a little bit differently today, and we're going to go right into the Express Lane segment. Now, just so you guys know, I'm not going to be catching up with all the past news that's been dropping over these last few weeks while I was gone. We're not going to get into any of it. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about it, so we're not even going to touch up on that. We're just going to get straight into the most recent news stories from over the last, I would say, 7 to 10 days is what I'm reporting on. And we're actually going to start off with the Express Lane segment first. So let's jump right in. It is time for our Express Lane segment, the rapid fire rundown, where we serve up quick hits of park news, rumors, and updates you need to know. Some of these I won't spend much time on, so if they interest you, you may want to dive deeper with your own research. Others might spark a rant or a deep dive, but all right. Let's go. Starting off with some Walt Disney World news. And I got a big Disney story coming up later in our featured story section, but we're jumping over to Animal Kingdom first because the first look at the Clawhauser animatronic for Zootopia Better Zoogether has been revealed. Now, this new Zootopia attraction is opening November 7th. That's in just a couple of weeks. It's about 3 weeks from when I'm recording this. This Clawhauser animatronic figure first appeared in Shanghai Disneyland and will be one of the few animatronics in the mostly screen-based show. The attraction is replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug. So let's just real quick pull up some pictures. This article right here is coming from attractionsmagazine.com. That's where I got my information for today's story. But they covered a bunch of things. We're going to go straight to, my goodness. We're going to go straight to the Clawhauser audio animatronic visuals here. If you take a look, this animatronic looks clean, man. This animatronic looks really nice. As I mentioned, it was at the Shanghai Disneyland, so this is not the first version of this, but lately, I have to say, these animatronics at Disney World are looking on point. There's just something different, something very magical about them. They're getting really good at this stuff, man. From what I'm reading and from what it looks like this Zootopia show that is opening at Animal Kingdom on November 7th. It's mostly a 3D attraction. So it's, we're going into the Tree of Life, going into the old Tough to Be a Bug theater, and you're going to see mostly a 3D show, but it does look like we have at least one animatronic that will be a part of this experience. And it is the Clawhauser animatronic that we are looking at right now. So looks like it's going to be an on-point animatronic, something really up to date with technology. Like I said, one of the best words I can just come up with for describing this animatronic is it looks clean. It looks just like the character And just when you thought the virtual queue system was gone forever for Disney World, it has made its comeback. And that is because when Zootopia opens at Animal Kingdom on November 7th, guests will need to join a virtual queue to experience the 4D theater attraction. So the way it's going to work is annual pass holder previews will use the system on November 5th and 6th, which drops at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m., and then it will move over to everybody else starting on November 7th. And again, those are drops at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. But all right, and we're not done talking about animatronics just yet because we're jumping over to Epcot now because Frozen Ever After is finally getting new animatronics. After nearly a decade of complaints, the ride will update its Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff figures with tech inspired by Hong Kong Disneyland's version. These upgrades ditch the outdated screen face look in favor of a more expressive modern animatronic. Huge win here for fans who have been asking for this since, I don't know, when the ride opened, I believe, which was probably like 2015 or 2016, over 10 years by now. So yeah, you guys have seen this probably floating around. It's actually been out there for a couple of days, if not a week now. But yeah, back when this ride first opened, they were using, I guess it's screen mapping. I guess it's projection screen mapping on some of these animatronics. And the screens would just look really lifeless and creepy looking, honestly. Once again, thanks to Attraction Magazine for this comparison photo right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. This was before. Looked very lifeless. She looked pale. She looked weird. She just didn't look right. 10 years later, they have finally updated it, and it is a regular good old animatronic. No projection mapping on the face. Looks exactly like the one did in, I believe it was Paris or Hong Kong. I'm sorry. Looks just like the one that opened in 2003 at the Hong Kong Disneyland. Fully sculpted faces were utilized instead of the projected faces, and that is exactly what we have coming to Epcot. So good news there. No more creepy Anna or Elsa. I don't even know what character that is because I've never watched Frozen. Come at me in the comments if you need to. It's completely fine. All right, guys, moving on. We are jumping over to Hollywood Studios now with a Rock and Roller Coaster re-theme update. So as you guys know, Aerosmith is officially out. The long-rumored Muppets re-theme is official and coming summer 2026. So yeah, it's not a rumor anymore. It's actually 100% happening. We all know this. I don't know why I worded it like that. But anyway, no exact closure date for the Aerosmith version yet, but Disney previously said it will stay open all of 2025. So my guess is come January, this thing will be closed, which means if they're promoting that they're going to open this ride summer of 2026, that would leave you with, let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay, so even if it opens at the end of the summer, we're looking at 6 to 8 months for a refurb on this coaster, which isn't that long at all, but they're probably not going to have to change too much. They probably, they're working on the new pre-show. Let's see if I can pull up the images of that. Here's the concept artwork for the new pre-show. This is probably where they're spending a majority of their time developing and creating for this new re-theme. They've got some new animatronics. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 animatronics that are actually going to be, audio animatronics. And then these, this looks like a screen here where the band is and where Kermit and Miss Piggy are. Those look like screens. But as you can see, it's a whole brand new set, new animatronics. It's a new pre-show. They probably already have that complete, or very close to it if I had to put my money on it. Then they'll have to go into the ride itself and just sort of replace a couple, they'll replace those neon signs and things like that. Maybe they'll throw some screens in there or who knows. It'd be nice if they threw some kind of, well, I was going to say an animatronic, but that ride goes so fast that you're not going to have time to see anything. So it'll most probably just be like the neon signs and things like that. They're going to change out the onboard audio. You'll hear a Muppets song now from, I forget the name of the Muppets band, but we talked about that previously on the show, and I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about it from other creators out there. But yeah, I just wanted to briefly touch up on that. We are getting very close to this opening. I think it's going to be a huge deal. And as you guys know, right outside of Rock and Roller Coaster is the new Villains show. I am still a believer, a strong believer, that once the Villains Land opens at Magic Kingdom, I truly believe that they will take over. They will move the Villains show from Hollywood Studios and they will move it over to Magic Kingdom at the Villains Land, opening up a theater so we can reopen Muppets 3D. But all right, let's move on to the next update at Disney Hollywood Studios. And this time we're talking about the upcoming Monsters Inc. land, which is replacing the old Muppets courtyard. Disney has officially filed for the trademark for Monstropolis. It looks like the upcoming Monsters Inc. land now has the official name. Disney filed the trademark for Monstropolis, which was also featured in the Preview Center's updated concept art and signage. So Monstropolis, I was really thinking about the name and I was thinking about the land and how it's going to be. And I have to say, I'm getting really stoked for this land. Probably more than I thought I would be. It's finally starting to settle in how cool this is going to be. So yeah, I'm starting to get really stoked on Monstropolis. I think this is a good name. I believe this is the name of the world that the monsters are from in the movie. So it makes sense. Honestly, you couldn't have found a better name for the Monsters Inc. land. But yeah, I'm really getting stoked for things. I'm starting to visualize how awesome this area is going to be, how vibrant this area is going to be, because the cast of monsters, you've got monsters of all different shapes and colors and sizes, and I really think that that's going to be a huge benefit to just the overall aesthetic of this new Monstropolis Monsters Inc. land coming to Hollywood Studios. I think that this Monstropolis land is going to be one of the coolest looking lands at any theme park ever. I think the IP calls for it. I think that they are going to hit a home run on this one. They are not going to hold back. From taking a look at the photos, the construction photos, and seeing all the land that they cleared out, it looks like this is going to be the biggest ride at Hollywood Studios, if not all of Disney World. So yeah, this ride building is going to be huge. As you guys know, it's an indoor roller coaster based on the closet door feature in the movie. Forget exactly what that is all called. I should probably brush up on some Monsters Inc. before this new land opens, but all right, that's all I have for all of these new major ride updates coming to Walt Disney World. Moving on in this Express Lane segment, the Banana Ball is coming to Walt Disney World. The Savannah Bananas are bringing their viral baseball experience to Walt Disney World's ESPN Wide World of Sports. It's happening on May 29th and May 30th of 2026. The teams include the Party Animals and the new squad, the Loco Beach Coconuts. Expect dancing, comedy, and non-stop energy. And the ticket lottery closes October 31st, 2025. Moving over to Disneyland, Disneyland has confirmed that the Storybook Land Canal boats will reopen this winter with a new addition, a miniature Rapunzel's Tower. It will be added as part of the park's 70th anniversary celebration. If you've never been, this charming ride takes guests past scaled down landmarks from Disney's classics. Look for Rapunzel's Tower to be nestled between Toad Hall and the patchwork quilt scenes. Moving over to some Walt Disney Studios updates, Disney secures the rights to Impossible Creatures. Disney beat Netflix and Warner Brothers in a 7-figure bidding war for the rights to Impossible Creatures, a popular fantasy book series by Catherine Rundell. She'll adapt the scripts herself, with Disney aiming to turn it into a major new franchise. So, I've never heard of Impossible Creatures before, had no idea what that was about or what it is about until this headline popped up in my theme park newsfeed. So what I thought we could do is do a little bit of quick research on Impossible Creatures ourselves and see how that might be able to tie into future theme parks. All right, so here's what Google says about Impossible Creatures. The plot of Impossible Creatures centers on Christopher, a boy who discovers a secret world where magical creatures like griffins and unicorns exist. He teams up with a girl named Mal who can fly to save this hidden realm from disappearing. Together, they must journey across the islands to discover why the magical creatures are dying and stop a killer hunting Mal before the Arch Apollo and the magic of both worlds is destroyed. It sounds like a mixture of Harry Potter and Avatar is what that plot reminds me of, sort of. So Disney has now the rights to this, the rights to make a movie, and they're actually going to be using the actual author, Catherine Rundell, to help write the movie. So for them to spend, them to outbid Netflix and Warner Brothers into a 7-figure offer. Would I say the offer was just a 7-figure? So I mean, they're spending a lot of money on the rights to this. I'm guessing if the movie is anywhere near a success, you will see this come to the parks. It just seems like it makes sense. It's just, like I said, it's got that Harry Potter Avatar feel. These impossible creatures are going to be the perfect subjects for animatronics. And the world, the magical world that they go to sounds like the perfect setting for a land as well. So who knows? We could be seeing impossible creatures coming to the park within the next 10 years if this brand new movie franchise is a success. This is probably what Disney has been searching for a long time now, something that can compete with the Harry Potter audience. This seems like it could be it. Because I will tell you, I don't understand some of the IP that Disney likes to put time and effort and money into. Moving over, we're done with the Disney news for now. Stay tuned for later. But right now, we're jumping over to some Universal news, starting off with the Universal Orlando Resort. I've got some holiday updates for you to kick it off. The Whoville Tree Lot will debut this year. Sounds like this will be a new area for pictures and videos and possibly meeting characters. And then tickets do go on sale for the Grinch and Friends Character Breakfast and Holiday Tour. And I do have some information about the Grinch and Friends Character Breakfast. It's going for starting at $58.99. And here is what you get. You get to meet the Grinch, start your day at the Circus McGurk's Cafe, Stupendous. That is the worst name I've ever heard in my life. Start your day at the Circus McGurk's Cafe Stupendous in Universal Islands of Adventure, where you can visit the Grinch and meet his Who friends. And then you get the character breakfast. Enjoy a tasty sit-down meal with themed food and breakfast favorites, including a non-alcoholic beverage and special treats. That, again, is $59. And then the Universal Holiday Tour is starting at $79.99. Scroll into the season on a special limited time only walking tour with the Grinch. Meet and greet, reserve show seating, and more. So you're getting an exclusive meet and greet with the Grinch and his faithful dog Max. Also a meet and greet with Santa. Then prime viewing, reserve seating for the Grinchmas Holiday Spectacular Show. Reserve viewing area for Universal's Holiday Parade. Snacks and beverages, cookie decorating, light bites, and non-alcoholic beverages. And then another priority access to the one predetermined attraction at Universal Studios Florida. So they're going to be able to pick which priority access you get to for just one ride. What else do we have for Universal holiday stuff? Celestial Park and Ministry of Magic at Epic Universe will get full holiday overlays with lights and immersive decor. That was also announced just a couple days ago. So it looks like Epic Universe will be celebrating the holiday season this year for the first holiday season that they have. That's also another awesome thing to hear. And then speaking of holidays at Universal, Universal Orlando annual pass holders will have early access to the Holiday Tribute Store on November 20th from 11 a.m. until park close. And then Universal, the next one for you, Universal's Hollywood Fan Fest nights are officially returning, and they're already kicking things off with a huge crossover. Just announced, Scooby-Doo and Universal Monsters will headline this year's event as the first of many new fandom mashups. FanFest nights will run on select nights from April 23rd until May 16th, 2026, with more experiences to be revealed soon. This is a Hollywood exclusive. This will not be happening in Orlando, though I do wish that one day we do get something like this. But in Orlando, in Hollywood, this was a huge hit last year. Basically, what they do is they create these immersive experiences that are like live action shows that you're a part of. The best way I could describe it is like if you take the concept of a really cool pre-show for a ride, like the pre-show for Rise of the Resistance, you take that concept and you actually just make that the main attraction. So it's like a walkthrough experience where you'll see live actors performing right in front of you with practical real sets. Last year, one of the big ones was a Star Trek experience where you got to walk right onto what felt like a real Star Trek ship and experience whatever was going wrong, whatever the storyline was. You get to be right smacked in the middle of it. There was also like a backlot tour that took you to the original area and set where they filmed Back to the Future, and they, replicated a scene from the movie there. Really, really cool stuff if you're into movies, if you're into these old classic movies. I'm going to go now to the website and check that out. General admission is $74 per person. And then Ultimate Fandom Pass with collectible medallion is going for $249. Okay, so I was like, why is it so much money? But it's because you get admission to Universal FanFest nights for up to all event nights. So for $250, you can pop in as many times as you want while this event is running. And it looks like for $74, you're only getting in for one night. And just so you guys know, daytime park admission is sold separately. I'm glad to see that this is back. I think this is going to be a smash hit. I would love to get down there for this to experience it myself. Just based off of all the stuff I heard from last year, it looks like it's a good time. And it's cool to be able to experience the parks after hours. Who doesn't like that? But all right, moving on to Orlando for Universal at Islands of Adventure. As you guys have heard while I was away, I'm sure you guys heard. As you guys know, the Lost Continent is officially getting replaced. It's getting a retheme at Islands of Adventure. That is 100% confirmed. Now, the big question has been, is Mythos or Mythos? I would love to know what you guys call this restaurant, because I've always called it Mythos, but I was watching a couple of videos and I noticed that some people say Mythos. So what is the answer? Is it Mythos or Mythos? Let me know what you guys call it. I'm sticking with Mythos. While not officially confirmed, the latest buzz is that Mythos, the award-winning restaurant at Universal's Island of Adventure, may be closing in 2026 as demolition of the Lost Continent continues. Early word says that the building will stay, but it will likely be rethemed to match whatever replaces the surrounding land. Some menu favorites may remain, but expect a new aesthetic and storyline to match the land's new identity. As you guys know, one of the biggest rumors for this retheme is a Legend of Zelda land. This has been talked about for almost, a couple years now at this point, and internally it is looked at as the top contender, apparently, according to rumors. Though Universal could be cooking up something completely different. You never know, so stay tuned on that. But yeah, I would love to know what you guys think about this. We're clearly getting something completely different. So for Mythos to stay just regular old Mythos, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb in my opinion. Mythos had its time in the sun. It won Best Theme Park Restaurant for like 10, 15 years in a row. It's been there since the start of Islands of Adventure. I think it's time for a revamp. I think it's time for a retheme. Six Flags Qiddiya in Saudi Arabia is officially opening late 2025. So there was a little bit of confusion going on last year. Was this park opening in 2026? Was it opening in 2000 whatever? It's officially opening now in 2025. I believe that is ahead of schedule. A lot of people were blown away by this news because, we've only got 2 or 3 months left. What do we got? We've got 2.5 months left of 2025, and apparently this park will be open by the end of it. This park is going to be a thrill seeker's dream, and that is because they are filling this place, or they have filled this place, with record-breaking rides. Speaking of, let's go over some. Falcon's Flight. It will be the fastest and tallest coaster in the world. It goes 155 miles per hour, and it is 639 feet tall. If you guys haven't seen this ride, this thing is crazy, dude. Look at this ride. This thing is coming off of a mountain. It shoots you off a mountain, and then look at this. It's going right up this huge, 600 and something feet. Look at this thing. Holy shit, dude. This is no joke. This is no joke. They went all out on this ride. This is going to be a thrill seeker's dream right here to get on this ride. There is nothing like this in the world. Just look at the way it falls off of a mountain cliff. That is the start of the ride. I mean, there is nothing in the world like this ride. So I guess this isn't even the beginning. The beginning of the ride takes place lower, and then it shoots up and does this huge drop off of a fucking cliff. Absolutely no joke on that one. Also, this park has the tallest shot ride at 475 feet. It has the tallest tilt coaster at 208 feet and the tallest pendulum ride at 173 feet. So like I said, this theme park is going to be a thrill seeker's dream. Unfortunately, it is located in literally the hottest place in the world in Saudi Arabia. It's all outdoors. I don't know how people are going to survive out there, but I guess they're going to find a way. And speaking of Six Flags, the executive chairman, Salim Bazoul, will step down but continue as a consultant through opening of this park. So Six Flags continues to make major changes to basically the entire board of directors, and now the chairman is stepping down, who's only been there for like a year or whatever. This company just is a mess, and things continue to be a mess, and that is why I don't feel like reporting on them anymore, because it's just the same old shit over and over again. But we'll have to see. I'm going to be paying a close eye onto this Six Flags park just because of the record-breaking ride selection that it has. I'm interested to see how many people travel to Saudi Arabia to experience this. Personally, me, I don't have any plans to be doing that. I will be spending my money elsewhere. But yeah, we'll have to see. I can't wait to at least watch a ride footage of Falcon's Flight, because it's going to be absolutely insane. That will do it for all of the express lane stuff that I had for you, but I'm not leaving you just yet, because I do have a couple of featured stories that I wanted to go over, a couple of different topics that I wanted to go over. But before we get there, some quick housekeeping for you. If you are not subscribed on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. It will go a long way to let the algorithm gods know that you are enjoying this content and that you want to see this content in your feeds. So make sure you guys hit subscribe, hit like too. That does the same thing. And then if you're listening on podcast platforms, be sure to give us a 5-star review. That also will go a long way. Also, follow me on social media at ThemeParkPod on TikTok and Instagram. And then if you want to follow my personal on Instagram, it's at Frankie Screams. But that's all I have for you guys for housekeeping. Not much to it. Let's jump into some of these featured stories. And the first story that I'm going to be going over is probably going to piss you off. And that is because story number 1, Disney parks are raising prices across the board. For the first time in its 54-year history, Walt Disney World is charging over $200 for a single-day, single-park ticket. Select Magic Kingdom dates during the 2026 holiday season will now cost up to $209 per day, a new all-time high. To put that in perspective, it took Disney 43 years to hit $100, and they did that back in 2015. Now, just 10 years later, they've already doubled it. The price surge reflects continued date-based pricing, with the cheapest tickets still starting at $139 in slower months like August. And it's not just tickets that are going up, and this is when you really start to get pissed off because it's everything that's going up. The increase does not stop there. Almost every aspect of the Disney World experience is now more expensive, including annual passes. I'm not going to go into full details, but all the different tiers have all seen pretty big jumps. The Incredipass, it used to be $1,549. It is now $1,629. Also, the Lightning Lanes have increased in pricing as well. That is the skip the line service that Disney provides. The Lightning Lane multi-pass has jumped from $4 to $6 depending on the park. And then the Lightning Lane single pass prices are also going up, with some attractions hitting an all-time high in pricing. So, for example, if you wanted to buy a Lightning Lane single pass ride for Cosmic Rewind, you're looking at close to $40 just for that one ride, depending on, what day you're getting it on. And then just to piss you off a little bit more, the lightsaber build is up too. It used to be $249. It is now $274. And then building a droid used to be $119. It is now up to $129. And then the experiences have gone up too. The Keys to the Kingdom experience was $169. It is now $189. Behind the Seeds at Epcot was $39. It's now $49. Savor the Savannah at Animal Kingdom was $199, is $209. And then the Wild Africa Trek was $229. It is now $239. So you're looking at $20 to $10 increase on all of that stuff there. And those updates were just the Disney World updates. But Disneyland is also increasing its prices all over the board, with almost every ticket tier and add-on seeing a jump as well. Disneyland uses a tiered pricing system based on expected crowd levels. The highest demand days, known as Tier 6, now cost $224 for a single day, single park ticket, up from just $206. I shouldn't say just, because $206 is a lot of money too. But it used to be $206, and now it is $224 for the highest demand days of the year. And then the lower tiers, 1 through 5, also received smaller increases, ranging from about 1.5 to 4.8%. The Park Hopper add-ons have also increased, now range from $70 to $90, up from $65 to $75. And then the 5-day Park Hopper ticket has increased by $39. It now costs $655. So there's more on that. I'm not going to go into it for Disneyland. They also increased their Lightning Lane experiences as well. You guys get the hint, though. Even the parking costs more money too now, up $5. So here's what the big picture is. What we are seeing here is a broad resort-wide pricing surge, covering everything from the front gate to the backstage tours. Disney says this allows them to invest in new experiences and manage crowd levels. But for many families, it's yet another blow to affordability. It's outrageous, man. It's outrageous. And before you say that, they're just changing, they're just staying up to date with inflation. No, they are not. This is way over inflation. As you can see, they raised $100 over the last 10 years. This is a way above inflation levels here. They're getting greedy with this shit, yo. They are getting really greedy. And the problem is people continue to pay for it. So that's why they're not slowing down, because they still continue to pack these parks every single day with thousands and thousands of guests. So until they see a dip in crowd attendance, I don't think they're ever going to stop raising these prices, unfortunately. So yeah, sorry to bring you guys all of that bad news, but it looks like we're gonna have to spend a lot more money if we want to go to Disney World and Disneyland in the future. Moving on to story number 2, Retro escapes Vegas time traveling theme park dream. The concept, a mix of outdoor and indoor lands where guests literally step through a time travel portal into different eras of American pop culture, from the 1950s all the way through the 90s, ending with a futuristic Tomorrow Zone. The park is the brainchild of Daniel Leo Jr., a social media influencer who calls himself the CEO of Las Vegas, and his father, Daniel Leo Sr. The younger Daniel Leo announced the project on September 30th, 2025, saying the team is still finalizing land deals and deciding where the park will actually go. Retro Escapes has tapped PGAV Destinations for design. They are a major player known for work on big attractions like Cosmic Rewinds at Epcot, Manta at SeaWorld Orlando, Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens Tampa, and even full parks like Discovery Cove and SeaWorld Abu Dhabi. If built, Retro Escapes could bring something unique to Vegas, a nostalgic theme park that celebrates the eras of diners, arcades, and VHS tapes. But right now, it's just an idea on paper, no construction, no timeline, and no official land purchased yet. So I just wanted to say this is a big story because of, the size of this project, what it could potentially turn into. But as you guys know, a lot of these big old bold theme park ideas never actually happen. It's uncommon for something this big to happen in the theme park world space unless it's coming from a Universal or a Disney. So I did put together a couple of big reasons why this park will never happen. So my first one is high barrier to entry. Major theme park cost billions and usually need backing from companies like Disney or Universal or Comcast, et cetera, et cetera. So, even though this guy is a multi-million-dollar man and, his dad has all this money and he's a social media influencer, you have a lot of money, but you need to have billions and billions and billions of dollars to spend when it comes to running a theme park, or at least just getting it off the ground. Without corporate funding or major investors, large-scale theme park proposals often stall. So like I said, this kid can have as many millions of dollars as he wants, but these sort of things cost billions of dollars, and he's going to have some sort of corporate funding or major investors on board with him to pull this one off. Another reason that this won't ever happen is because the Vegas track record, is not that great. The city has seen many failed park concepts over the years, from themed resorts that never broke ground to short-lived attractions that couldn't compete with the Strip. So yeah, I don't really think this is ever going to happen, but for the sake of content, let's review some of the concept artwork that they released. So looking at the concept art, it's out there. It's fucking, full blown immersive, crazy theme park stuff. This stuff would cost billions of dollars. I mean, just look at this one picture here. Looks fantastic. I hope that they are able to make it. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here. I'm just trying to be realistic for you guys. But, don't get your hopes up. This looks amazing, but don't get your hopes up. They are very ambitious with this one, I will say. They are very, very ambitious. A lot of concept artwork, too, that they have provided, which is great. They're going to need this kind of stuff to convince investors to put up money for it. Here's the 1960s. Even if they do get this park going, if it looks anything like this, it would be a miracle, because this just looks like some crazy AI shit right here. The center of the park will feature the Fountain of Youth, a venue for nighttime spectaculars. Look at this. So yeah, Vegas is, has a lot of cool things going on with its expansions outside of just gambling, which I think they're going to need, because I don't think people have the money to gamble anymore. So Vegas kind of does need to transform its identity if it wants to survive. But you guys have seen I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of the headlines that have gone around over the last 6 months where Las Vegas tourism is down by a lot. Even flights to Vegas cost a lot more than like a regular flight would. Like all around Vegas, if you're going to Vegas, things are going to cost more. Meals are going to cost more. Rides are going to cost more. It's just an expensive place to be. So I think they need to change the culture there, change the way that they are perceived if they want something like this to be a success. Because right now, I just can't see a park like this being a success in a place like Las Vegas. Moving on to story number 3, the Netflix house has made some big updates. So they officially announced these 4 of the experiences coming. And, Netflix has been pretty quiet this year on everything, but they are finally starting to release some information. So let's jump into what they announced on Instagram. Here is the Netflix house for the Squid Game Survive the Trials. Do you have what it takes to win it all? Test your game in the Survive the Trials Netflix house in Dallas this December. So here's what you're getting first. I was wrong, not November, December. In December, in Dallas, you're getting the Squid Game Survive the Trials. And then what do we got next? Also coming to Dallas in the same Netflix house, the second attraction will be Stranger Things Escape the Dark. Hawkins is feeling a little different. Escape the Dark is coming your way this December. Then over in Philadelphia, we're getting the Wednesday Eve of the Outcasts experience. And then the 4th concept art is for the second experience coming to Philly. It is the One Piece experience called Quest for the Devil Fruit. So let's see. I wanted to see if we can pull more information from their website. Let's see if they've updated their website now that they've released some new info. It looks like pricing for this Philly one will start at just $39. Let's see what they say. When Wednesday reluctantly takes over the Eve of the Outcast festival, she adds her own twisted touch. Wander freely through the festival and Nevermore Academy. Seek photo ops with fellow outcasts, conquer cursed carnival games, and solve mysteries with Thing. But tread carefully. Every corner hides a secret or a little misfortune. So it says experience details approximately 1 hour. It is all ages. You got flashing and strobe light effects, fogs and haze effects. So they're being very vague with what this actually is. If you go look at the comment section, a lot of people are so confused. They have no idea what this is. I think Netflix could be doing a better job promoting, especially since this thing opens next month. Let's see what they say on this website here. There's a little bit more. Dreadful gameplay awaits. So it looks like it's just going to be like some themed carnival games. It says experience 60 minutes of darkly interaction fun. Challenge your friends or foes in Wednesday's favorite carnival games. There you go. So some carnival games, and then there's some rooms. It says roam the halls of Nevermore Academy. That's the academy that Wednesday stays at in the TV show. So that'll be like a walkthrough attraction of some sort. And then they have uncover a chilling mystery. Follow a mystery trail by texting clues back and forth with everyone's favorite disembodied hand thing. What I think this is some sort of scavenger hunt that you can do throughout this whole Wednesday area. Oh, there's a Netflix restaurant called Netflix Bites. Dig into a full menu of familiar favorites with a plot twist at Netflix Bites. We've created food and drinks inspired by the shows and movies you love. And then what is this? Netflix Virtuals. Dive into the virtual worlds of Squid Game, Stranger Things, and Rebel Moon to become the main character in these futuristic experiences powered by Sandbox VR. So it looks like they're going to have some sort of VR experience in there as well. Looks like they also have Top 9 Mini Golf. Picture this, 9 holes of mini golf, each inspired by fan favorites like Bridgetown, Is It Cake, WWE, and more. And then a shopping area. And we do have the hours. It looks like it'll be open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m., and then Sundays, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then let's see if we can change things up and take a look at Dallas. Step inside your favorite shows and movies with interactive story-driven experiences, games. So it's basically the same type of thing, just with different IP. They'll have Squid Games and Stranger Things. Looks like they brought some of this concept art to life with this animation screen right here. And then they're also promoting the Netflix Bites restaurant, the Netflix Replay, which is the arcade area, and then the shop as well. All right, guys, that's everything that I had written down in today's script to go over. Before I head out, I will double check and make sure no crazy news has broke online since I've been recording. This morning, SeaWorld San Antonio announced a new roller coaster to open in 2026. It's called the Barracuda Strike. This will be a family inverted coaster. It's 1,800 feet of track. It goes 44 miles per hour. It has a 90-foot tall lift, and part of the ride will go over the park's main lake. Hey, that sounds really exciting. I love family coasters. I think we need more updated modern family coasters out there in the United States. Based on this concept art right here, it looks really cool. Obviously, it's not going to be going underwater with straight up barracudas chasing you, but this does look nice. Love to see it. It sounds like a little bit more on the thrilling end as far as kid coasters go or family coasters go. A 90-foot tall lift. So I don't know if that doesn't mean a 90-foot drop, but it is going as high up as 90 feet. We'll have to see on that. And that is all I'm seeing for news that broke out while I was recording. There probably will be a bunch of other stuff that I'll discover shortly after, but we'll just have to save that for next week. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching, listening, whatever you guys are doing. Appreciate you guys sticking with me until the very end here. I'm so stoked to be back to my normal schedule. Before I was recording on Mondays and posting on Tuesdays, and I would unfortunately run into the situation where a lot of news stories would go live right after I was done recording, and that really pissed me off. So I'm hoping with this slight change in schedule, recording on Tuesdays, posting on Wednesdays will help with that, and I'll be able to have more current, fresh stories at the involved in the episodes. But like I said, guys, don't count on me for new episodes every week. If Wednesday comes along and I don't have any new episodes going up, it just means I got way too busy with the freelance work, unfortunately. I will be trying my hardest, though, to get an episode out every week. We'll have to see how everything works out. And I did want to do a quick plug for a show that I have coming up. If you're a fan of professional wrestling and you are in the Rhode Island / Mass area, on November 2nd in Rehoboth, Massachusetts, that's just about 15 minutes from Providence, Rhode Island, I have a wrestling promotion, an indie wrestling promotion. I've been doing this now for about 3-4 years, something like that. We took a little bit of a break over the summer, and now we're coming back strong on November 2nd with the Squared Circle Seance featuring WWE legend Gangrel. That's right, the vampire Gangrel is returning to Fight Life. He's going to be taking on one of our top stars, one of the rising stars in independent wrestling named Mortar. You can grab tickets at fightlifewrestling.com. There's also a bunch of information there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you hopefully in a week for episode number 19. But until then, take care and peace out.